Good evening, guys, and welcome to another episode of Deep Into the Blues podcast. Oof, it's crazy at Chelsea right now. It's crazy. So, it looks like Chelsea could be heading into a big direction of change, both in terms of players and leadership. So, in terms of players, we're talking about Enzo Fernandez. If you guys noticed, last week, Friday, there was a deadline for Man City to make a bid around 5 p.m. UK time to make a bid for Enzo. That was the deadline Chelsea gave City. City didn't make a deadline. They didn't make a bid, sorry, so they didn't meet the deadline. So that deal, as we thought, was off the table. But as you guys know, City are in the process of selling Rodri to Barcelona. So they will definitely need a replacement. So my guess is they'll try and come back for him. But if they're going to try and do a deal for Enzo, it's going to have to be over 120 million, that Chelsea acquired for them. But nevertheless, it's still a big step because they got 2 weeks to the end of the transfer window, and City are about to make a bid for one of our big players, meaning Chelsea are going to be trying to get a replacement in within 2 weeks. And we all know how that works because people are going to be saying, okay, you know what? You got the money for Enzo. Give us 100 million. We'll probably sell this player. So once again, guys, that's another one. Another one is, I don't know if you guys have noticed, we're also hearing that Todd Boehly and Mark Walter could be looking to sell their shares to Boehly and Clearlake. Obviously, as you guys know, Chelsea, when they took over Chelsea, it was Boehly and Clearlake. So Clearlake had 65% and Boehly 35% with a couple of other investors. So right now, Todd Boehly could be looking to sell his shares to Clearlake, meaning Clearlake and Boehly could own Chelsea outright. We are really deep into the Blues here. We're really deep into it. Honestly, if Boehly takes over completely, we're really deep into it because ever since this guy came in, it's been chaos. It's been chaos, just constant talking, never backing it up. There was a time he said it during the interview that, Chelsea were a poorly run club under Roman from the sporting side, from the marketing side. And it's been 4 years at the club. This guy can't find a front of shirt sponsor. You've only qualified for Champions League once. You finished 10th. Your average finish in the last 4 years has been 7th or 8th. So again, you're throwing stones while living in a glass house. So clearly this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. This is why I don't really see. I would rather Todd Boehly takes over, but again, I'm guessing, with all scam issues that's going on with Mark Walter on the Lakers side and everything, Boehly might be involved as well. So I'm guessing that's why they're looking to sell their shares. But if they sell their shares to Boehly, we're just gonna be in trouble moving forward. I'm sorry, I don't like to invite negativity onto my club, but this is how I feel. I just feel like we're gonna be in trouble, but it is what it is, Also, yeah. So clearly the pressure is gonna be on Boehly because now it's either you do the job or you sell, because at this point there's no escaping it. Now it's gonna be your head that the Chelsea fans want, because if you fumble the bag, Chelsea fans are going to come for you. So again, think about it. So again, if Boehly messes up with all this 100% ownership, Chelsea fans are coming for his head. Now you're like, okay, this is you being Roman. Go there, go do your Roman stuff. If you cannot be like Roman, we want you out of the club. We miss our Russian sugar daddy, as people say. Yeah, we miss our Russian money. I don't know. We don't know why it got banned in the first place. UK is what it is. But anyways, let's dive deep into the Enzo Fernandez situation. So with Enzo, it seems like, on Friday we all said, yeah, he's not going to go because Man City didn't bid for him. But this week, I think it was today, Rodri is going to Barcelona for about 70 million euros. So City will probably have that money in the bag and they'll look to reinvest it somewhere. Are they going to go for Enzo? Maybe, because Enzo Maresca is a big fan of Enzo Fernandez. But Xabi Alonso is also a fan of Enzo Fernandez, but he's not against selling him. He doesn't mind working with him, but if the player wants to go, it's not going to force him. So again, but I think if Man City wants to buy him, they need to pay over 120 million, which is fair because you can't come in 2 weeks to the end of the transfer window and just disrupt the squad. Like, we're literally planning for the season with Enzo. And the Man City come out of nowhere. They did this last season as well when they did it with Enzo Maresca, which disrupted our season. Enzo Maresca had his head turned and then he had to leave with the whole issue because he was wearing Man City. So yeah, I guess he tried to get out of the contract. Fine, but don't come here and be doing it again with the players. So no, I'm really hoping Enzo stays. I'm hoping Enzo just needs to come out and just say, look, I'm staying at Chelsea. But I'm happy to work on the Xabi Alonso and win trophies there and see how it is. Because I looked at Man City yesterday against Arsenal and they were just completely outplayed and outclassed in every single department. If that's the squad that Enzo wants to go to, he can go to. He can go there. I mean, if Guardiola was in charge, I would understand. But mate, Man City is not the same Man City of old. And honestly, I've been looking to Chelsea to say, you know what, we can actually beat Man City this season. Guardiola is no longer there. They're not as strong as they used to. They still got Ireland. They still got some top quality players, but it's not the same old Man City. They're vulnerable. So I've been thinking, you know what, Xabi Alonso maybe with Chelsea can get something out of it, the fixture. But let's see how the season goes. So with Enzo, honestly, I'm really hoping it doesn't go. But anyways, let's see what the latest is on Enzo right here. So with Matt Law, what Matt Law said was this. Manchester City face having to pay Chelsea more than 120 million to land Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea will look to replace him and go try again on Alex. So sorry about that before we cut off. Like I said, let's read this again. So Manchester City face having to pay Chelsea more than 120 million to land Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea will look to replace him and could try again on Alex Scott. Chelsea still believe Fernandez can be successfully reintegrated if it stays, despite boos. So our last preseason friendly match, I think it was on Saturday against Real Sociedad, which we won 3-1, courtesy of João Pedro, 2 goals, and Morgan Rogers' debut goal. So Enzo Fernandez came on. He was booed by the fans, because of the whole Argentina and the whole Real Madrid links and everything during the summer. So, some fans were booing him, some fans were cheering him, but hopefully he stays, reintegrate him. But like Matt Law said, it was booed. So again, Man City could try again, but they would have to pay 120 million. The deadline on Friday was 120 million by 5 p.m. Get that, you pay us that, we'll sell him. But if you don't meet that deadline, now you have to pay more than 120 million, which is fine. Yeah, I think that's fair. It's a fair price. I think Chelsea are playing the hard game here with Man City, which is good. So again, it's up to the player. If the player says he wants to go, I don't think we can force him to stay. But if I was Enzo, I'd be looking, you know what, Xabi Alonso is let me just learn on Xabi Alonso. I get you worked with Enzo Maresca and it was really good, scoring goals, crashing the box. But Xabi might unlock Enzo in a way that most Chelsea fans have never seen. Now you got that goal scoring, ability. Now let's see what you can do as a deep line playmaker. Do what Xabi used to do back in the day. Xavi, all those players, see what they can now learn from the best. Basically, you have the chance to learn from the best here. So hopefully it will still. But let's see how it goes. Hopefully, I hope Enzo stays. I don't want him to go. I was in support of signing Enzo from Benfica from the start. I'm still a big fan of Enzo. I've loved watching him since the first World Cup when he won Young Player of the Tournament. Yeah, sorry about that again. So with Enzo, yeah, it's a sticky one because, Man City would definitely come back in for him, but we don't know yet. Let's see. Now that they've sold Rodri to Barcelona, they have the money to come back in, so let's see how that goes. Now, on to the next one, which is the Todd Boehly and Egbali stick in Chelsea. Honestly, guys, I'm tired of this whole, Todd Boehly and Egbali stuff. What's the whole point of having a consortium to take over a football club? Just have one owner. I've always supported the one owner stuff. But this whole partnership, investors and everything is just... Okay, so, like I said before, guys, let's see how the Enzo Fernandez saga plays out. Let's see how it goes. Another Chelsea player that might be leaving is Pedro Neto. Chelsea value him at 100 million apparently. And he might be going to Saudi because a club called Al Hilal, they want to sign him, but they value him around 60. That's the starting point for them. But Chelsea value him at 100 million euros. So that's crazy, but I can see why Chelsea want to, it's understandable because if you think about how much wingers are going for this summer. Diomande went to Real Madrid for about 100. Morgan Rogers 117. PSG are pricing Barcola 145. So it's not crazy that Chelsea are pricing Pedro Neto at 100 million. They have the right to. So again, wingers are, rare commodity these days. So when you see the best of them, you're going to have to pay up. You're going to have to pay up. So again, that's what some top clubs have done this summer. And now, if Al Hilal wants him, they got to pay up to 100 million. So, hey, you know what? But I think Neto, looking at him against Real Sociedad, I think you'll be good in that wing back role because he's got the work rate to go up and down, to track back, and to go forward. So I'd really love for him to stay and see how he does under Xabi Alonso in the wing back system. I mean, we got a glimpse of it in terms of the three at the back, the four flat midfield, the two inside tens, and then honestly, I can't wait to see Xabi's first game in charge against Fulham next week Monday. Anyways, it's going to be really exciting. But anyways, guys, that's it from me today. Stay tuned because we're going to be doing another video before the end of the week. That's the first Premier League match preview of Fulham against Chelsea, which takes place on next week Monday. But we'll be doing a preview before that. So stay tuned. Can't wait to see you guys then. Have a lovely day.